Saturday morning flights in.
It's not morning, you drongo. It's evening.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Good morning, good day, good evening, and good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. It's a bit of a blustery day in southern Australia. I think we're going to have an interesting flight today. Hope you're all doing well wherever you are in the world. A big shout out to Nighthawk, who is on the tarmac with us as always. My most reliable flying partner. So big hello to Nighthawk. Transport AU says hello Transport. I hope you're doing well. And I presume by the AU you are in Australia. Is that correct, sir? And if you're in Australia, tell us where you are. Anyway, huge welcome to everybody. We have some awesome scenery to show off today as well. So this is Melbourne. This is available from Orbx. Their Australian scenery is probably second to none. Compared to many other sceneries, but yeah, we'll show you about this. You're in Melbourne, yes, hooray! So you'll know this airport very well indeed, and you can see there's a lot of meticulous detail on this. Some amazing modeling here. I don't know if there's much in the way of internal modeling for this one. I think this might be an external. Actually, no, it looks like there's a little bit of internal modeling, so we'll take a look and have a quick peek at it at night. We've got a pretty short block time today, so just for a switch, I've decided to do everything from cold and dark today, just because we've got the gift of time. So there you go. Yeah, you can see not a heck of a lot in terms of exterior modeling. I don't know if Melbourne was one of their first sceneries, actually, for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But actually, yeah, you do have it here. So if you popped in, you can see this is smoked glass. But if you go in, poof, there you go. Lots of people sitting around waiting to go. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool. And of course, from the outside, it looks absolutely spectacular. Now, of course, just to make our life industry interesting, we've not actually parked anywhere near a gate. I saw Nighthawk was already loaded in, and so I'm just going to put the time back to something reasonable here. I'll do. Of course, we're not parked anywhere near a gate. We're off in no man's land over here in one of the stands. But to be fair, for the size of the airplane, it is probably relatively common, I would think, for Melbourne. And Nighthawk says, this is my second flight in the PMDG 736. Ooh, okay, well, just as well we didn't do Innsbruck this week then. because we do have a couple shows in the schedule as well, and I think the interesting one's going to be Innsbruck from Copenhagen. That's going to be quite exciting, I think. Anyway, so what are we doing for flight plan? Let's go have a look at that. Let's get everything ready here, and I'll show you what we're going to do today. So, as mentioned, we're flying from Melbourne today. We are departing a runway 34 today due to winds, and we're going to be taking the Sunti 3 departure from runway 34, which takes us through Porham, down to Pibble, and then intersecting with Sunti en route to Avness. Mainly southerly direction, south east, until we get into Morgo, and we'll be doing the Morgo 3A RNAV arrival. There is no ILS for runway 30, which is what we're assigned with today. Now, I did look, because there is an ILS going the other direction. I think it's runway 12. But the winds, unfortunately, are 330 degrees at 16 knots, so that would be rather challenging to try and do that. So, and there is a lot of weather today as well. If I pull up Volanta, you can see there is a pretty nasty weather front moving in over Hobart there. And actually, if I turn the volume up in the sim, which I've got down right now, you can definitely hear that wind howling over the apron. So it's gonna be interesting, and hopefully we'll have reasonable visibility. And Transport EU has stuck in a sub there, mate. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Much appreciated. Thank you for that, and welcome. We hope I make this entertaining for you then. Oh, what have I done? Right. So anyway, we'll get back into the airplane. As I mentioned, we are cold and dark. We've got everything here, so we'll get some ground power set up here. CPU cart request ground power. Yes, we'll have some ground power, please. First thing we're going to do then, switch things over. So we're going to turn on that battery. We can see ground power has become available, so we'll switch that on. And we'll arm the emergency lights, and we'll start our INS alignment up here so that the aircraft knows where it is and where it's going to go. Pulling in the plan from SimBrief now. Departure weather today is 15 degrees, so a bit on the cold side, but this is, we're still kind of at the height of the winter in Australia, aren't we? So we'll be cold. QNH is 1004. We don't have any screens yet, so wait for that to come on. Hopefully they'll come on, unless I've missed something here. And Nighthawk has pointed out as well that there's a slight issue with the flight plan, so we bring that in. I don't know where my screens are. Nav data of name. Okay, we don't worry about that right now, so we'll get that plugged in anyway. This is a new problem. No screen power. Oh, there we go. Don't know. My slight glitch in the matrix there. Okay, so right, so that we've brought in the flight plan from our EFB there, so we're just going to request that. Bring that in. We'll set our fuel, which is block fuel is set 6.4. That is fine. And we'll select that route, do our payload separately at the moment. Yeah, that's fine, I got that. Just waiting for that company flight to get loaded. Transport says, you're welcome, love supporting aviation channels. Well, thank you, Mike. I'm honored that you have decided to support us. And do join us in Discord as well, Transport AO, if you're available. Put the link up for you. Lots of nice people in there. come in and say hello. Nighthawk says, I think you have to remove TASM from YMBH. Okay, yeah, we'll have a look at that. Sometimes you have to do these things with flight plans. So we can take a look there. First, payload. So let's get that done. I just want to get the payload now. Our load sheet today is we got 91 passengers. So I think what we'll do is we'll stick 2 in first class, and we will put an 89 in economy. And our cargo today is 2,064, so we will put 1,000 in forward cargo and 1,006 in the rear. That should be fine. It just gives us center gravity about 25% zero fuel weight of 47.1 tons. So, with that, 47.1, and there's our block fuel in there, actually, hopefully. I think so. So 47.1, we'll double check that on our load sheet as well. One reserve's cost index today is going to be 9. So, yeah, we're definitely looking on the low side of performance today. 390 is our flight level. That's 39,000 feet. And we'll bring that in. And our cruise winds today will be 279. And this is a whopper, guys. 102 knots. That is possibly going to make things a little bit difficult for us. We'll find out what happens with there. Okay, happy with that. N1 limit, we're okay there. Takeoff, we will use flaps to take off here. I'm just going to check. Go into our load sheet. Sorry, it's been on the dark side, isn't it? So runway 34 takeoff today. We can import everything from the aircraft. That's right. That's bringing in our weights and our center of gravity, which is perfect. Import the weather as well. We won't be using any ice. I don't think we'll have much need for that. However, we might require that when we get into Hobart, depending on what the weather's like there. Quick calculation here, that gives us a V1 of 123, 124, and 128 for V2 respectively, with a flex temp of 155. So we'll go and stick that in first. Sorry, runway winds today is 320.16. And the reason I do the second page first is because if you try and put your V speeds in and then try to change this page, it'll delete the V speeds anyway. So there's no point in doing that first page first. As mentioned, flex out temperature today is 55. That gives us a derated climb 1 takeoff. Runway slope is 0.8. Interesting. So we're going slightly uphill. We can now go back to that first page here. Center of gravity is going to be 24, basically 25, isn't it? If you round up, which gives us a trim of 4.71. So that is just below the 5 there. Probably about there, I would say. That should do. And our V speeds again, 123, 124, and 128. So we'll get that 1, 2, 3, V1, 1, 2, 4 to rotate, giving us a V2 of 128, and that will also give us plus 5 knots. So we will dial that in as 133. Cool. Right, so we can put the throttle arm out in the moment. We don't have to do that right now, but we might as well. Flight directors can come on as well. Now, off to the flight plan. Let's have a look at that. So, know that ML's a problem, and I think which you said you got to remove TASM from YMBH. Okay, so let's go over departures. We are departing today at runway 34, Sunty 3. Stick that into the plan there. So that there you can see that ML is definitely causing a problem. So we can go and clear that right now. Like that. I think we got Sunty in twice, don't we? Let's go back a bit. We'll step through this one at a time. So we're going, that's good, up, around. We're going to make a couple right turns, down the pedal, down to Sunty. Yeah, it looks like Sunty's just in there twice. So we can bring that and just overwrite the first Sunty there. And if we step through that, we should see there's no problems now. Perfect. Off to Avnas. Then departure, or sorry, the arrival into Hobart here. Which is up here, sorry. As mentioned, it will be, it's RNAV SED 30 going to be using here, and we're using the Morgo 3A arrival. And our transition, ooh, that's a good point. Transition for that is going to be Pydos. Right, so let's see what that looks like down. So if we skip down to, okay, so we do have an erroneous waypoint there. Can see Morgo arrival in fine. So, and I suspect it's probably TASM. That's right. So thank you for that. And Morgo's already there. So actually, it's a really, really good tell that if you see Morgo up there and then Morgo down here, all you actually need to do is click Morgo on that and just bring it up to the first Morgo, and that should hopefully clean everything up for you. So if we now step through that, we can see that we now have a perfect arrival. And these are things that just crop up. I mean, this happens in real life as well for pilots. And then you can see we've got our RNAV approach with all of our various altitudes coming in for runway 30. Everyone happy? I am happy. Are you happy? I'm happy. Does that look similar to what you've got, Nighthawk? And hopefully, as I mentioned, we'll check that visibility. If we go down to back to our summary sheet, visibility today is pretty good. It's 9999, so it's all right. We don't have to worry about any problems. Although we will be seeing showers and rain, possibly thunder showers, depending on what things are like out there. But yeah, visibility doesn't look like that is a massive issue today, so that's helpful. Because obviously with an RNAV approach, if you can't see the runway, it makes life very difficult. Okay, so with that we can put everything back to map. We can see that the flight plan is aligned. Where are we today? Let's bring up charts. I'll show you. There we go. Okay, so we are at the stands just out here. We're going to be taking off runway 34. So we're basically going to be backing out, nose to the left, taxiing down Tango, and I think what we'll do is we'll intercept Victor here, take Victor all the way down, continuing on through Juliet, down Alpha, on to Kilo, and then picking up runway 34 at the end. We got a huge runway down. We could, I mean, for the distance of the runway, we could probably actually come down Juliet actually and just take off there. But you know, just for fun, we'll taxi all the way down the Kilo. Gives us plenty of room to take off from. Right. So we'll assume at this point all of our passengers are loaded. So we can go back into, I usually like to do services on this one here. So we'll go in FS Actions, Ground Services. First thing we're going to do is Excuse me. First thing I'm going to do is release all these services as well. So the bus can go, rear stairs can go, aft galley can go, and we'll just sit outside for a minute and watch these things depart. Nighthawk says, quick question, how do you set up engine reverse? Me personally, so I have something that you don't really get to see is all the stuff that I have. I have a Thrustmaster T1600, which has a trigger. You'd probably call it, you know, in a, if you're in a fighter jet, it'd be like the gun button or something like that. So what I do is I use that, I set that up as if you hold it down, it toggles reverse, and if you let go, the reverse goes away. So what I'll do is when I'm landing, I'll pull throttle back, hold down the trigger, which activates reverse, and then slowly throttle back up again, and that gives me my my reverse power. I found that was the most reliable way to do it without things kind of going a bit weird. Now obviously if you have a dedicated like the Airbus throttle or a Boeing throttle, I think it has proper thrust reverser features on that, but unfortunately I've got the SciTech throttle, which is slightly unreliable in that sense, so I just use the trigger, and that's how I make it work. Right, I'm just going to turn that music down a slight bit. It's all very bubbly. Right, jumping back into the cockpit here. I think we're just about ready to go, so I'm going to get those seat belts on. And I'm going to put our beacon on as well. Let's see, everything's pretty much gone, so we can now release those front steps. Ground power is still ready to go, and we'll get the APU going here as well. We'll start seeing some blast coming out the tail there shortly once that APU starts spooling up. Stairs are away. Did that answer your question, by the way, Nighthawk? Is that what you were referring to? How I configure it? Here we can see the exhaust coming out that smoke trail there. EGT is nice and high. I'm just going to wait for that to settle down, and then eventually we'll get an indication of APU power being available, and we can get rid of the ground power there. You helped you figure it out. Brilliant. That's what I'd like to hear. That's what I'd like to hear. Okay, see that EGT is now starting to settle. There is our indication of APU power, so we can stick that on. And we can also bring in our yaw dampers. And all the other good stuff that we need to get going here, such as hydraulics, etc. Okay, now with the APU started, we don't need that ground power anymore, so that can disappear. And we should see that little cart there vanish shortly. In theory. In theory it should go. There it goes. It's gone. Magically, poof. That's what happens in real life. It just goes poof, and that's it. It's gone. No, actually, usually someone tows it away with one of those little airport cars. Okay, flight director's on. Auto throttle is on. We can also arm VNAV and LNAV. Initial altitude today, just take a quick look at the Sunty 3 departure, see if that gives us any indication. Basically, get above 5,000 and above 10,000. So I think what we'll do is we can probably set it for an initial altitude of, let's call it 11,000. Or 12,000. Let's go 12,000. And probably before we even get close to that, I'll reset that to our intended flight level today of 39,000. once we get close. So happy with that. Indicated airspeed is set. That's fine. Course and well, we don't have any ILS to speak of to worry about today, so we won't need to do anything with that really. Anything else that we're forgetting here? Don't think so. Transponder's already on. Just cross-check. We do have 6.4 ton of fuel in the plane. I will, however, just give a quick ding to the attendants to say that we're about to get underway here, and I think we can probably get our ready for our pushback. So let's do that. Oh, I tell you what, it is definitely getting colder in Scotland. We'll be asked to lift the brakes shortly.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and the ground equipment is removed.
Thank you.
Please set parking brakes.
Setting brakes.
Parking brakes set. Lifting the aircraft. Standing by for pushback.
Thank you. So we will go into our little pushback planner here. And nice and easy. About there.
Go ahead.
Oh, remove the chocks. Put them on. Nose to the right today, please, sir.
Okay, clear for push start. Please release parking brake.
Okay. Parking brakes released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
Thank you. Fuel can come on now. And we will start with engine. Oh, sorry, make sure our bleed is all set here. Engine 2. N2's live. Waiting for the. I want to be around 22 before we spool up the engines there. Fuel and engine 2. Well, for a change, I've beaten Nighthawk off the stand. Just about in our final push position. And good start in engine 2. Can bring in packs on the right hand side of the plane.
Completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake are set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect and has been removed. See you inside. Have a safe flight.
Thank you. Alright, we can start engine 2 to continuous. Sorry. There we go. And engine 1. Engine 1 and 2 is alive. and fuel. And while I'm thinking about it, let's get our cruise altitude set, which is 39,000. Yes, know what? Hi, gang, he says. Hello, love the name. Yes, know what? Hope you're doing well. QNH today is double check. I think it was 1004. Yes, it was. So let's get that set down here, which should be 1004. There we go. Good start on engine 2, and power is available, so we can bring in engine power, and the APU can now come off. Taxi light can come on. Engine 2 or engine 1 is continuous, it should say. Everything else is looking okay. We can start rolling. And just to remind me of what we're doing today, so yeah, we're here. So we're coming straight out Tango, intersecting Victor all the way down to Juliet. Left-hand turn there, and then a right on Alpha coming down to Kilo, intercepting runway 34 for takeoff. Hopefully I can remember all that. Should be able to actually bring that up on here. Is it airport? Airport briefing? Airport info. There we go. There'll be yeah, so we can double check that as we're going out, which is pretty cool. Brakes are off, a little bit of throttle. Oh, Nighthawk's gone somewhere. Oh! I think Nighthawk likes to warp. And Jamie's in. He says, morning, how's it going? Things are going well, Jamie. Hope you're doing good. I don't know how you do these things that you're just suddenly, that was it. like magic. Absolute magic. Okay, let's check our position. So we should have, I think this might be next one. Next one. Yeah, I think it's this one here coming up, isn't it? How are things with you, Jamie? You having a pleasant weekend so far? Jamie says just doing some binter ops. Okay. Already done Lanzarote, Tenerife, South Gran Canaria, and now going to La Gomera and maybe Tenerife North. Wow, that's cool. What kind of airplane are you using for that? Okay, there is Tango, I believe. ATR 72, very nice. Yeah, that's a very common airplane to see around there. And you see them quite often in the Greek islands as well. So as mentioned, we are going to get to a dead end eventually. We want to hang a left and then a quick right when we do that. And that will run us down to Kilo and onto runway 34, hopefully. A few bumps and bolts on this on these taxiways. Do you have an FMC message? Unable 250 at Gulab. Okay. Deal with that in a bit. I'm sure it's nothing major. I wonder if it's actually as bumpy as this in real life, or is it's just a bit of a scenery problem. I'm definitely weaving and bobbing here. Okay, I believe this will be... Can't remember if it was... Oh, Victor. Is it Victor? Juliet, yeah. So we are going to... slide on the Juliet quickly and then straight on to Alpha. Hopefully not get hit by that little cart. And this should take us all the way down the runway 34. All the Canary airports are also so loud with ATRs and their prop brakes running. Ah, yeah. Of course. Okay. Right. Prepare for takeoff. We're going to set flaps 5. And we'll also turn on our TCAS. As we get ready. And if we followed our directions correctly, we should be coming up to runway 34 here. Slow that airplane down a little bit. Yeah, there's our runway 34 marker. There is our stop line. So bring the plane just to a general stop here. Parking brakes are set. Just do a quick look around, see if there's any inbound traffic. Nothing that I can see. And Nighthawk is right behind us, ready to go. Okay, so we can bring on our landing lights, runway turn off. Taxi light is already on. Strobes can now come on. Ooh. Quick ding to the cabin just to let the flight attendants know. And actually, we need packs as well. I'm sure everybody's getting a bit cold in that airplane, so bring packs on. That's something we missed. Everything else is looking good. No evil lights to worry about, so I think that is us good to go, guys. Let's rock and roll. Brakes are off. Auto brake RTO? Yeah, you're right, Jamie. You are right. Okay. Everyone good? Everyone happy? 50%. And flex. Rotate.
climb.
Gear up. Still manual. Nice view of the gear. Yeah, I like that shot. Okay, flaps 1. Dropping that nose now, starting to accelerate. And flaps up. Okay, I'll probably come on, a little bit of pitch there. MCPS control. And we are now letting the airplane fly to departure. We'll get some nice views of Melbourne Airport as we take off. Goodbye, Melbourne. Off to the strange shores of Tasmania. Nighthawk already airborne. Passing 6,000, we can take a taxi light off at this point. RTO can be reset back to normal and gear to neutral. Runway turn off can come off as well. Everything's looking pretty good, so I think we will reset the altitude to our intended cruise level today, which is 390 or 39,000 feet. And as soon as we get up to cruise, guys, we will have a little bit of news today to go through. Climbing nicely. Getting good views of the Australian countryside there. Just about to come into our procedure turn to head south towards Tasmania. Standard pressure set. And landing lights can come off as well. Plane now configured fully for climb. And I think what we'll do, get some panel lights up as well, just in case we get into any cloud conditions. Just makes everything a little bit easier to see, I find. There we go. Just extend that range out a little bit just so we can see ahead. Okay, cabin crew, you can come off, and actually we'll just take the seatbelts off as well. We're quite happy now. Okay, while I'm letting the airplane climb, guys, I'm just going to pop away for a quick second, but I'll be right back. See you shortly. Alright, back with you guys. Getting a really good look of Melbourne. Big place, Melbourne, actually. Passing 26,000 feet. We're almost at Pebble. And then we'll finally finish our departure procedure at Sunti. And top climb shortly after that, actually. So I like unrestricted climbs for departures. That's always quite good. Not like flying around Britain. Every time I take off from Edinburgh, you have to kind of hold at 6,000 feet for ages. And you see it in real life as well. It's infuriating because you know you're just basically wasting time until they finally get cleared to their route. As mentioned, we do have some news to cover today. I will do that once we hit cruising altitude. And if you're watching on Restream by chance, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. Definitely starting to see those storm fronts move in. And it's only going to get worse from here on in, guys, because it's going to get exciting by the time we get over Tasmania. It makes me wonder too what the weather in Tasmania is typically like. If it tends to be quite a stormy place or a sunny place, I don't know. Jamie says on VATSIM at Edinburgh, they often clear you up very quickly, so you don't have to wait at 6,000. Yeah, they do it in real life as well sometimes. But once out of Gatwick, you're at 4,000 for about 5 to 10 minutes. Oof, it's torture. That is torture. Yeah, it's definitely slow going when you're stuck at a departure restriction. That's for sure. Okay, while we're waiting for the airplane to reach climb altitude now, it's complaining about Gulab, so I'm just gonna have a quick look, see where Gulab is. It says 280. I think we can probably say. .280 below. See if it likes that. Oh, no, that's wrong. Erase. 280 below slash. Let's try that. See if that clears the clears the error. Yeah, I think that's what the issue was. So, probably won't be at cruise very long at all. First restriction will be at Morgo, which we have to be above 13,000 feet. Then Poxiel, which is below 13,000, so between there we'll be crossing. RNAV arrival today, so when we get to uh, 4,000 above at Pydos, so what I'll probably do is I'm going to set that at 4,100. And then Hibte, we start to drop 1340 at Hibtef, so we'll probably let the VNAV fly a lot of this actually today, just so we can do that RNAV approach in. Jamie says I did a nice flight yesterday, Edinburgh to Pathos. Oh, very nice. Landing at night is always tricky. It is, yes. Hard to judge your pitch without staring at the PFD. Yeah, absolutely. You have to use all the instruments available to you when you're doing night flights, that's for sure. Passing 35,000 at this point. Everything else is looking good. I think I'm generally happy with our flight plan as well, so we can put that back into ARC mode. Passengers should be relatively comfortable as well. Don't think there's anything to worry about. And we're starting to see a bit of coastline here. We are breaking away from Australia now. Passing over Wonthaggi, which is a great name for a place, isn't it? So wave bye-bye to Australia. Thank you for your hospitality, Melbourne. Get some nice views of the coastline as we depart towards Tasmania. Oh. So, anybody have any fun things planned for the weekend? You doing anything interesting? I presume Nighthawk, you'll be in the garden again today, will you, mate? Amazing colors on that coastline as well. And as to be expected, the water's looking rather choppy today, just with the winds. Which you don't really associate with Australia, do you? You always think Australia is constantly hot and clear, but it's very much the opposite. probably, unless it rains. Yeah. It's definitely threatened to rain here today, I think. It has decidedly turned colder in Scotland. Although, I mean, it is still going up to about 16 degrees. Yeah, it's definitely the wind's creeping in now, and it's just like that autumn breeze, and you can starting to see the colors on the trees change as well. So we're definitely heading towards autumn quickly now. And that is at our cruising altitude, 39,000 feet. See, the airplane is now starting to accelerate to cruise speed. Target speed today, and this will be due to our low cost index, is just going to be Mach 7.5. So yeah, we won't see the plane going much higher than that. Which means Nighthawk may well overtake us. And Jack's just, it popped in. How are you doing, Jack? He says, I don't know, I'm sweating after being out in the sun. Are you? Well, you're a bit further south, aren't you? It's certainly not sunbathing weather up here. I had the dog out this morning, so I was wearing a fleece. I mean, it did get warm walking, to be fair. Certainly in the house it's not feeling very warm. We've been putting on the electric fire at night just to, which the dog loves anyway. As soon as that fire goes on, her dog bed's right there. So as soon as that fire goes on, the dog just goes up and plops, and that's it. She ain't moving. Not for hell or high water. Jamie says, might be flying again after your birthday. All right, late September, looking forward to it. So is this flying in real life, Jamie, I presume? Whereabouts, and what do you think you'll be flying as well? Another glance at that weather. Yeah, definitely some heavy storm fronts as we came in over Tasmania. Interesting noise outside. Oh, I've got an Apache helicopter flying by my window in real life. Don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, that's an Apache. We get all sorts of weird things flying through the valley around here. PA38 at Inverness. All right, cool. Very cool. It can be interesting time of year to fly in Inverness. Hopefully the winds are cooperative, because it can be very windy there. Okay, I think that helicopter is past us now. So, let's do some news, shall we, guys? And it's time for the news. Yes. Lots of interesting news today. I'll just bring that music up a bit. We can bring out the... So, Fenix, if you... unless you are living under a rock, you're probably very much aware that Fenix has released their Airbus 319 and 321 expansion for their amazing A320. Some fixes have just been released as well. Various things in climb logic, doors, EFB. So if you have the Fenix 319 or the 321, you might want to go and grab those updates, which will correct some issues. More windy, more fun. Yeah, you can say that again. And it's just amazing, to see all three of their variants now lined up. That's a lovely picture there, isn't it? That's really, really nice. I like that. So yeah, Fenix is just getting stronger and stronger. I think a lot of people are really enjoying the 321. I'm really hoping, and I don't have the Fenix yet, but I will buy it if they come out with a A321 XLR, 321 XLR, but then of course that is a Neo variant, so they have not yet produced the Neo, but I would certainly jump on that if they do decide to do the 321 LR Neo and the XLR. Moving on, Aerosoft has announced Frankfurt Airport. They do love making their German airports, don't they? And some lovely shots in here. This looks very, very, very well detailed. Looking very cool there. Frankfurt, of course, is a very, very busy place in Germany. So, you know, if you do like flying around Europe, I don't know what's happening to my internet here. Strange. Doesn't seem to be cooperating. Anyway, I'm sure you can see that it looks good from those photos anyway. And then heading on to Microsoft Flight Simulator, there's been a few interviews and they are giving away some interesting information. There's definitely going to be a lot of improvements, specifically with things like vegetation and animals. I mean, some of these shots are absolutely spectacular. Looks like there's going to be some sort of camera mode as well, which I think is cool. In case you're wanting to do some nice screenshots. But I mean, the detail on these things is just looking phenomenal. And look at that. I mean, that is gorgeous. You can see definitely a lot of improvements into the trees there. I did look. There's going to be some improvement to the boats as well. I find this really cool. These boats are just looking so highly detailed. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the mission structure. So I know that they have, you know, you can do all sorts of different roles. You've got medical evac, hot air balloons if you want to coast around Paris in a giant balloon, and of course you can walk around the airplane. I think that's another feature that they've been talking about. So if you actually want to, as pilots do, walk about the airplane before you actually get on it, you can do that in 2024. It'll also be interesting to see if third parties will be invited to produce their own kind of mission structures as well. But I mean, it's just looking absolutely phenomenal, and you can really see that there's a step on the graphics. Now, be forewarned, it will run well, and if you're worried about whether your system's strong enough, my understanding is that you should still get the same performance, but do not expect to see that level of detail unless you're running anything other than a very high-powered PC, I would say. Nighthawk says, think Fenix would do the 318 CEO before they do any Neos? Maybe. It's hard to say. Fastcal, never heard of them before, but they have released a helicopter, which is, I think it's the Sakari 8R, which is a little helicopter, but an experimental one at that, which I don't know. So I've never heard of this, but if you're really into your helicopters, this might be right up your alley. And that is going to be available, don't know if it says, possibly in the marketplace. Or you can get direct from Fastcal's website. There is a link on FS News if you're interested. And finally, on the X-Plane side, Tolis is revealing new details about their Airbus 330, and I mean, some of the shots that they've been putting out are absolutely awesome. So really, really good modeling inside the cockpit. I mean, of course, you got your retractable tray as you do in those airplanes, and the HUD heads-up display is going to be an integral part of their model as well. So that is looking really cool. If you're into X-Plane, I'm sure that is awesome news for you. And that's it for the news today. So let's get back to the flight, guys. Okay. Ninehawk says, do you have the Chinook? No, I do not. No, I do not. I'm not a massive helicopter fan. And for one simple reason, Nighthawk, I suck at flying them. I really stink. I'm absolutely confounded by them. And I've really tried. I mean, I can take off. I can generally kind of fake my way. Oh, we've just been blasted by Nighthawk in his 736 there. That is unusual. I haven't seen that happen in a long time. So he's obviously got a slightly higher cruise than I do. We should actually look out for our top of descent there. So that is actually within 40 miles. So if we look at our 2290, I'm actually going to drop it to 1340. Reason being, I want the airplane to take me as close to the runway as possible before I take control. So I'm going to drop that, and then the VNAV will automatically start descending the airplane once we pass our top of descent marker. So 1300 will probably do, I think, for now. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're just going... I kind of expected that to happen because I knew my cruise speed was quite low. Cost index of 9. So, you know, the airplane's not going to be particularly performing. Jamie says some TUI pilots in the 737 disconnect the autopilot at 15,000, really? Ooh. And hand fly the approach. Don't know how they can do that, Ash. Yeah, that's... I don't really see the advantage to that. I guess it depends where you're going, you know. Sometimes... I don't know, maybe they do it for giggles. I really don't know. It's very unusual, though. I mean, obviously, you should always be able to hand fly the airplane at any point, but given the choice between that and autopilot, I mean, I don't really understand why you would, unless you're just trying to make life hard for yourself. Okay, see that top of descent is getting closer. And we can definitely see that the cloud cover is increasing, as we expected coming into Tasmania. We're just over that big storm front right now, but Hobart, on the other hand, is not looking too bad. So that is quite advantageous, considering that we are stuck with an RNAV approach this time. And if we look out over that water, you can definitely see there's quite a bit of chop down there. A lot of chop. So, quick weather check. Hobart is 11 degrees at the moment. The winds have dramatically increased, though. We are now looking at wow. 23 knots, gusting 35, guys. This is going to be one heck of a landing. So yeah, we picked a good day. I think just it was nothing near that earlier, but as that storm front is moving over Tasmania, this is obviously introducing a lot of wind that wasn't there about an hour ago. So yeah, we've got some work cut out for us coming up to this airplane. Yeah, it is gonna be fun. Yeah, well, fun, difficult. So there's a good chance of a go around this time as well. We'll see what happens. And obviously, I think that autopilot. Just while we don't have an ILS approach, because I don't think. I don't know if it's the 737 in general or just the way the PMDG works, but the PMDG ILS gets very, very dodgy as you get below 1,000 feet. Slam it on the 1,000 footers, yeah, I think it will be a positive landing for sure. It'll definitely be a positive landing. Okay, that top descent is getting closer. Just about 15 miles now. And we got actually a slight tailwind, so that is boosting our speed to a ground speed of 483 or a true airspeed of 447. So that's actually worked to our advantage today to some extent. But you can see that there's quite a bit of a nose deviation in terms of the direction we're heading and where the airplane has the point. What we'll do is bring that heading bug around. Okay. Always good to have your heading pointing in the right direction. Unfortunately, with the 737, it doesn't do that automatically. So, Jamie says they got a visual approach for La Gomera. Going to be fun. All right, good luck. Get a nice screenshot for us, Jamie. Post it in the Discord if you want. And yeah, look at that cloud cover, guys. It's going to be fun. Top percent's almost here. So let's go out to our wing view here and should start to hear those engines throttling down as that nose drops. And I'll turn up the sound a bit just so you can really hear these engines. Right, there's the nose dropping. VNAV has begun the descent. Love that noise. Isn't that something? Very cool. Okay, plane is beginning its descent. Jay says, remember when I was in Tenerife staying at the top of the water slide, you could see La Gomera really clearly. Oh, that's cool. Alright, let's go to our landing here. We're going to be landing at runway 30. Auto brakes 3 will be called for here. The runway length is only 8,500 feet, guys. So this is going to be a positive landing. We're not going for any kind of superstar greasers here. This is get the plane down, get the plane stopped. And the winds right now 320 at 22, and we know that there is a gust factor up to 35. So QNH is actually in inches of mercury there, but I think if we go back to our QNH, is going to be 0982, very low pressure. Most likely expecting rain. Okay, double check, 0982, 0982, happy with that. Back into our landing. Crowd distance, auto brake 3 today, so we'll make sure that we've got that set. We will stop in just under 5,000 feet. And we want to be at 129, I think flaps 30 will stay with, that we're quite happy with that. So if we go into our index approach, 129, sorry, backwards, flaps 30, 129, with 5 correction, that'll give us approximate landing speed of about 134. James says, remember what, oh no, you said that already, Jimmy, sir. Put that out. Okay, we are almost at our Murgo approach here. Plane is slightly above profile, so I'm going to bring out some brakes. It's not complained about descent help yet, but I think we'll give it a little bit of a hand here. We've got some crazy speed restrictions coming in here, 249, so we just want that profile to get a little bit closer. You can see those speed brakes extended. And we can see the coast of Tasmania just breaking through the clouds there. Okay, that profile is starting to close in, so that's good. We really want to stay on top of this for the RNAV approach, that's for sure. Okay, we'll bring those brakes back for now. We'll leave them armed. And while we think about it, I'm going to set auto brake 3. So that is pedal to the metal, or brakes to the stakes, whatever you want to say. And with the brakes retracted in, we can see the airplane is holding that profile nicely, so that's good. Next checkpoint is Morgo. We want to be at 13,000 between Morgo and Poxio. Jamie says, just put some photos in Discord. Cool. We'll definitely check that out when we get to the ground. Remind me before we sign off, Jamie, and I'll punch them up for you. We'll have a quick look. We always like to see pictures of all of our positive rate family, wherever they fly in the world, in the Flight Simulator. Always lots of fun. Okay. There we go. It's got a very kind of Scottish look to it, Tasmania, doesn't it? It's got a horribly itchy nose today. Oh, we got Benji24. He says, Hi Benji. How are you doing, mate? Thank you for coming along. We're just on our approach into Hobart, Tasmania. And you can see there's Morgo there, about 40 miles off. Still above 25,000. I think we can leave those seatbelts off a little bit longer. I am good, Benji. I'm good. Glad to hear that you're good as well. Lots of, I can't tell if that's a lake. I think it's a lake. Well, the red arrows are at the CNE. All right. Didn't know they were in North America this year. Ooh. Lovely colors down there. Yeah, that is a lake. That looks amazing. Very pretty. Didn't realize Tasmania had so many lakes, actually. Pretty decent sized ones as well. Okay, we've passed 24,000. Keep an eye on the turbulence here, because I might get those seatbelts on a bit earlier if we're going to get into some chop. At the moment it doesn't seem too bad. And there's definitely some terrain underneath us, so that's going to be adding to some of the turbulence we're getting. So that's cool. I wonder if the Red Arrows, they're going to be doing a joint demonstration with the Snowbirds then, Nighthawk. I'm surprised there still is a C&E these days and they haven't sold off all that land for condos. Okay, we're a little bit on the high side, but I'm going to get those seatbelts on because A, turbulence, and B, we will be landing soon. And I think cabin crew will need time to clean up. So, since we're so close to landing anyway, just to be on the precautionary side, get everyone sat down and buckled in. Benji D says, do you allow people to join the flight with you? Yeah, absolutely, yes, all the time, Benji. Yeah. So we always fly on the North Europe server for Flight Simulator. Everyone is always welcome to fly with us all the time. Yeah, so yeah, please do. And actually, somewhere around this area, we should see Nighthawk. There he is. So you can see Nighthawk is actually flying with me as well today. And while we're out here, just look at these amazing pictures of Tasmania. Love the colors here. It's a beautiful part of the world. Very, very pretty. Visibility wise though, we're not looking too bad. I think we'll be quite happy when we get down to approach. Okay, just about to into our Morgul arrival here. What happened there? Once we there's Morgo there, so once we come into Morgo, you'll see, you should see our airplane appear on that approach, and we'll start flying in. Passing 19,000. Still on profile. Quite happy with that. Down in Canberra, beautiful visual, awesome. Oh, looks like we might have a weather update here, so let's do a quick check. Winds have dropped a bit. We're now 20 gusting 30. That's not quite as bad as before, but still something to keep us on our toes. However, the dew points dropped dramatically, so we're only looking at 10 degrees now. We won't. Whereas before we had rain, so that is now disappeared, which is good. Plane's a little bit higher than I'd like, but technically correct on the restrictions. There we go. You can see our airplane appearing on the approach now. So for runway 30, we're actually going to branch off towards Poxid, and you can see that is our next waypoint. So the airplane will bank a little bit to the left shortly. And there it goes. Just like that. Look at these lakes. That's amazing. It looks very arid though, doesn't it? Quite arid. Okay, airplane's now aiming to get below 13,000 for Poxid. It says we're on profile, so I gotta trust it. Luke's coming. He says, hey! Hey, Luke, how are you? Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for joining. We're just about to land in Tasmania. And Tasmania's got some amazing colors. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Very cool. Alright, we have a very weird restriction on that. I'm just going to punch that in. Luke says, good. Yeah, don't know if you remember, but you helped me get to VATSIM. Oh, you did. Yes, I do remember, Luke. You were asking about, whether you had to use an ID, and you've signed up. Awesome, awesome. So now you get to start your new adventure as a virtual airline pilot. That's really good news, mate. I'm glad you found a way to that you're happy about. Benji says, subscribe to the link. Thank you very much, mate. I really do appreciate that. We usually get some sort of alert, but sometimes I think it depends on privacy settings. But we'll see if that shows up anyway. But no, Benji, much appreciated. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you again as well. Here we go. We are now well into our Morgo approach here. So as the plane is flying in the chart, we're coming all the way down here and then looping around intercept for runway 30. It's an RNAV approach. So the computer will get us close, but ultimately we need to land the plane. There's no instrument landing system for this runway. And it's very short. And it's very windy. And we all may die. Virtually. But yes, if we have any problems or if I'm not happy with the approach, we'll need to go around and try again. So we were supposed to be below 13,000. We are below 13,000. The airplane is doing everything it can to stay on profile. Our profile marker, which is there, says in terms of our vertical height, we are exactly where we need to be, so I'm quite happy with that. You can see we still have quite a nose deviation there. So our airplane is flying 136, but our nose is actually shifted way to the right of that. And reason? It's those winds. These winds here they're fierce. 80 knots pushing at us from the right-hand side. So the airplane is having to turn in to counteract that wind push so that we can fly on our path. You can see there, our next waypoint is Guleb, which is there. Should be about 10,000 feet at that point. And then on to Sorvey. Obdeb, Backer, Sakit, Pidos, and then coming around for runway 30 into Hobart. Standard pressure is now called. We've already got that ready to go, so we can click that on into our QNH of 982. Which will give us a correction in terms of our altitude. Nine Hawk says, do you know where VREF gets posted in FMC? This is for approach. Yeah, so if you go init ref index and approach, your flap and speed is there, mate. So 3129 plus there's a 5 knot wind correction, so 134 will actually be our VREF. And of course I got that from our descent calculator, or approach calculator on the landing en route page in your EFB. You've seen some lovely views out the window here. We're definitely getting closer to the ground. Imagine there's a few minimum safe altitudes around here actually. But look at that, guys. This is lovely. Absolutely stunning. Wow. If you live in Tasmania, you are very, very lucky. I think your country is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. See Nighthawk up ahead of us. Okay, I'm going to ding the cab crew at this point. Still got about 20 miles to go until our base turn, roughly, for left base into, or right-hand base into Hobart. I'm quite happy with the speeds where they are right now. But I think you're not flying VATSIM, Luke? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Love to see that. Yeah, I am considering it. I need to. I'm rusty. And of course, when you're streaming, you're already doing quite a lot anyway, because I'm talking to you guys and reading what you're talking about, and so VATSIM is just like, you know, that extra little bit of workload. So I would have to get a little bit of practice, but yeah, you wouldn't be the first person to say it, and I have paid attention. Okay, Sackett, it wants us at 221. I'm going to actually override some of these speeds just to slow us down a little bit. Quite happy being 185 at Pedos, but I definitely want to be a little bit slower at Sackett. And you can see there's a bit of recalculation going on there. So apart from that, I think I'm generally happy with what the FMC is recommending. Drag required after backer. Okay, so we'll bear that in mind, and that is because the airplane needs to get down. So we'll bring out those speed drag brakes as soon as we're close to backer. Well, it looks like the airplane's actually flying below the profile right now, which is interesting. Okay, we are getting some chop now, guys. So it's definitely going to be an interesting approach. But look at that. Isn't that stunning? Oh, the life of a pilot, eh? All the nice things you get to see. Nighthawk on his right base. Good luck, Nighthawk. Hope you have a good landing there. At this point, I'm going to put the heading on runway heading, which will be 30 something. Drag required, right? Okay, let's get our brakes out. And that is probably because I put in that 190 restriction, so it's saying, hey, I can do that, but you're gonna have to do something to help me slow down. It's also made difficult when the airplane is trying to slow down and drop altitude at the same time. So. Speed brakes are very useful creatures when you get in that type of situation. If you're too high or too fast, get those brakes out. Okay, we are getting close. VNAV is still in control. I have no intention of taking any control away from VNAV. I will, however, get flaps 1 out at this point, just to give us some additional drag on the airplane. Anything that we can do to help the airplane slow down and stay under control. Look at the lovely blue water there as well as we're passing over. Okay, brakes are okay. I think we're under control again. We can pull those brakes back, leave them in arm position. Double check auto brake 3 is set. VREF today will be 134. I will allow the VNAV to fly the plane. Well, up to a point. In fact, you know what? I might actually take that over. Now, it has dropped the speed because we're at flaps 1, so that's to be expected. Flaps 5 once we get around to head TEF. there's Nighthawk. Looks like he's just going to make his final turn for approach. Or he's flying a completely different approach. Okay, dropping to 160. It is a windy day. We want to make sure we have everything well under control. Flaps 5. One 134 is our approach. 2290 above is our restriction here, so at the moment airplane looks relatively okay. Pretty happy with that. Engines are coming up to compensate. We got lots of drag on the plane now with the flaps. And there's Nighthawk there. It looks like he's on his final. Good luck. Over there somewhere is Hobart. Oh, landing lights should be on at this point. We'll put all our... should have had landing lights on a while ago, actually. Quick dig in the cabin. Cabin crew, please prepare for landing. Final check on the winds. Still 20 knots, gusting 30, so yeah, we're still in for potentially an interesting approach here. Okay, at this point I'm going to start slowing to our ref and get the gear out. Flaps 15. I wonder why that plane's speeding up. It's just because we need more flaps out to stay within our flight envelope. So the computer is just a little bit ahead of me, but we're now dropping the flaps 30. That is completely fine. The airplane will be able to slow down now. And Nighthawk is right ahead of us, so hopefully, Nighthawk, if you want to just run the full length of that runway. But should have time to vacate before I get to. And look at that beautiful approach. This is stunning, guys. We got definitely some wind on the water there, but yeah, this is just a really nice approach into Hobart. What a great flight. Okay, I am at this point going to take control of the airplane. I have control. And I'm now completely eyeballing the approach. Winds are actually almost head on, so although they are strong, they're actually not going to hopefully cause too much issue for us because they're almost coming right on our nose. So that makes things a little easier, and it's going to increase our stopping distance as well. Little corrections. Want to make sure that we're on that center line.
Five.
Slightly off the center line, just a slight correction. Okay, 4 reds and the VASIs are a little bit low, so we're just going to let that glide up a bit. There we can see the VASI lights are starting to increase. Is looking good. Aiming for that threshold now. We don't care about the lights, we're just looking where that touchdown marker is.
300.
Slight trim to correct. Good. Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Ooh, yeah. Bit of a positive landing there. Reverse is on. Motor brakes definitely kicking in there. And that wind has really helped us get a good stopping distance, so we're about ready to turn off there, actually. Lovely, says Jamie. Thank you very much. It was a strong landing, but you know, when it's windy, it's not about being soft. It's about getting down, getting stopped. Luke says, nice! Thank you very much, Luke. Oh, don't know what's going there. Oh, I think that was the music. Okay, we can start the APU. Landing lights and turn off can come off now. Cabin can start moving. Cabin crew can start moving around. I'm totally happy with that. See Nighthawk over here somewhere, so let's see if we can find a way into this airport. And this is Orbx scenery as well, Hobart International. While that is happening, get our oil brakes off. We can take our TCAS can come off as well. Engine ignition can go off. Let's see, the APU is available as well. You can still see that wind is really pushing us. Okay. Welcome to Hobart, everybody. Slightly wide there. This is one of our UE ones, isn't it? Oh no, it's a straight in. Oh, we can do one of our clever turns there anyway, since that's what Nighthawk did. Probably not the way we're actually supposed to park, but what the heck. It's like London City style, isn't it? Okay. Brakes are set. APU bleed air can come on, and we can bring on APU power, and engines can come off. And while we're sat here, we can go to passenger stairs. Oh, engine inhibit. Oh, is that because it's still spinning? So we should get that available shortly. Don't know why my dog's barking. Remember the screenshots I sent? Yes, your speed brake is still out. All right, yeah, thank you. And probably my flaps as well, actually. Uh-oh. See, I was so excited about my great landing that I forgot to put everything away, didn't I? Yeah, definitely a dog barking out there somewhere. There we go. Not quite by the book. Okay. Right, let's get some stairs. Bus can show up. Get the aft galley. And while that's all coming out, we'll have a look at the airport. And all of our air passengers can depart here. So, hey, yes, welcome to Hobart International. Not a massive place, but then, you know, Tasmania is not a big place either, but, yeah, we did nice detailings there. There's no internal modeling, really, so I'm not going to bother going to the night lights, but I do love the fact that they've included these murals there, and I would imagine those are accurate to what they are in real life. Having said that, there's some interior detailing. Let's go to nighttime anyway. Ooh, come on. Ooh. Well, I stand corrected. That looks awesome. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? It looks like an amazing terminal as well. Very, very chic and modern. Nice little bar there as well. It's very cool. And as you can hear, it is very, very windy out there. Ooh, there's a Qantas. Is that a MD-80? Very cool. Discover Tasmania. I like that. Yeah, it's definitely on the windy side today, guys. Anyway, let's go have a quick look at what Jamie's posted. Some lovely shots here. So Jamie, this was your approach into, was it La Gomera? Flying that amazing ATR, and what a great shot. Look at the mountains there. I like that. And that's a nice shot. Very, very cool. Oh, I like the color scheme. It's very green. No, that is excellent, Jamie. Thank you for sharing that with us. Really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone that's come along today. I know Luke, a big shout out to him for joining, as well as I think was on Benji, who was one of our new subscribers. Thank you so much, Benji. Really appreciate that. big shout out to Jamie and, of course, Nighthawk for flying with us the whole time today. Always great to have you along, mate, and thank you for your company. And with that, I will bid you farewell. We have 2 upcoming streams. Let's see if I can remind myself what they are now. So next week we are. This is going to be a really good one. We're going back to the Airbus 320, I believe. It's going to be Copenhagen to Innsbruck. Very difficult approach. So if you fancy a challenge, do join us next week. Block time about 2 hours, I think. But we'll be going from Copenhagen and Innsbruck, both enhanced sceneries as well. And then after that, we're doing something slightly different. So we go back to the Boeing 737, but we're going to be flying from Mozambique to Madagascar. And the reason for that, there's no scenery per se, apart from the beautiful scenery that's generated from Microsoft Flight Simulator, but because it's in Africa and Madagascar is quite lush, we should get some really lovely colors. And of course, Madagascar, the main airport in there, is settled in a lovely valley. So we should get some really nice scenery as we're exploring that part of the world that we don't normally see. Nighthawk says, thanks, great flight, Nighthawk. Thank you, mate. Always great to have you along. Really appreciate you joining us today. And for all of you, anywhere in the world you are, I hope you have a pleasant weekend. We'll see you right here next week for our flight to Innsbruck on positive rate at 11 a.m. London or 1000 Zulu. To check your local times to find out what that means. And Jamie says bye. And from me, I'll say the same thing. Bye.